What is up, everyone? Welcome to episode 49 of the Ear Hustling Podcast. Eric, what you over there giggling about, man?
You know what, man? This is my tribute to Matt Patricia.
Oh, God. You know what? His name and 45's name is not allowed to be mentioned on this show, sir.
You know what? It's not even about the fellas today, though. You're right. So
it's not. There's
not going to be too much mention on any of the fellas, but I do want to give a shout out to my son, though. Sean Hill. He currently resides in Atlanta, but he's over here visiting in Detroit. Today is his 27th birthday. So, Sean, hey, I enjoyed hanging out with you last night. I will enjoy hanging out with you over the next couple of days. Hop the plane. Gonna go to Atlanta. We're gonna hang out then too. So you pretty much got me for the entire month. Sorry about your damn luck, but I just wanted to tell you happy birthday and I love you.
Happy birthday, Sean, and I'm sorry about your luck too. If you guys see this guy for a whole month, my bad, sir. But but listen, we gonna jump right in, man. This month, as many people know, is Women's History Month. This past Monday was International Women's Day. And today we want to talk about some key women in our lives. Why don't you go first?
You know what? I have to definitely give it up probably to the most important lady, because without my grandmother, Elizabeth Jackson, my mother wouldn't have been here. My adopted mother, who was my biological auntie, she wouldn't have been here. And obviously my sisters. So Elizabeth Jackson, that's my grandmother, passed away far too young. I love you. And I still kiss you to this way. You passed away in 1983. And then there's my adopted mother, Ella Terrell. This upcoming March, she would have been 70 years old. So she unfortunately passed away at a young age too. My biological mother, Velma Smith, she also passed away at a young age. So I definitely miss her too. And then there are my two sisters, Angela and Nicole. Both of them are thriving and they're doing well over in Virginia. I've got some other people that I would like to mention, not today. Just because I don't mention you doesn't mean that you're not important. But those are the top 5 women, that are in my life that have made the biggest impact. So to all of them, I love you and thank you very much for everything that you've done to support me.
Awesome. I just want to give a shout out to a few women in my life as well. Me too. I feel the same way. I'm not going to list everybody. Don't have that much time. But first and foremost, definitely my mom. Everyone who's listened to the show before know that I lost my mom in 2019. You never get over it, but mom is my heart. So definitely love her and give thanks to her every day, not just International Women's Day, not just Women's History Month, but every day. My wife, 17 years she's put up with me, 18 this year. So love her with my everything, do anything for her, run through any wall. And someone else I want to give a special thanks to and some deep appreciation. My aunt, Karen Liverman, on my wife's side. She's not an in-law. She's family. She's that type of person that you can call upon and just have any kind of conversation with. And she'll talk to you through, any problem. So definitely want to show her some love as well. And as you mentioned, Eric, so many other people to give thanks to that it's just not enough time. But nevertheless, and Eric, a special message for you from Nicole. Thanks, Eric, my love.
Oh, that's my sister. That's my boo-boo. Hey, Nikki.
Yo, boo-boo. Never mind.
That's my little, hey, that's my boo-boo. See, the beauty that I like about being around my sisters is that when I'm around them, I don't have to think. I can just do stupid stuff and I know they got me. That's what I love about my family.
I love you too, babe. Eric, you act the same way around me. But anyway, that's another story too.
Well, hey, you know what? We're not even going to talk about the things on there, some of the stupid stuff that me and you did. Thank God we had each other, because if we didn't, we don't know what sort of nonsense we would have got into. And just to piggyback off of one thing about your mom, I did have the good fortune, to know your mother. And she definitely filled in a lot of voids. Because I didn't have a motherly figure that was up here. So, your mother was very, very special to me. So, she'll put a knot upside my head just as quick as she'll put a knot upside yours. So, but I definitely appreciate everything that she's done. Definitely want to go ahead and give a shout out to Shay too. Shay is like a sister. Always there to lend a helping hand, always there, for support. So Definitely appreciate everything that those two ladies have done for me.
Awesome. Well, enough about us, man. I can go on and on about the women in our lives, of course, but we got some women on the show today. We want to show love to some women podcasters and talk to them. And I'm looking at them backstage. They getting doing a last minute, getting ready and touching up and all that stuff. So, y'all good. So we about to bring them on the show now.
Bring them on.
Ladies, welcome.
Hello.
Say good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. On behalf of James and myself, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on the Ear Hustling podcast with James and Eric. So we definitely appreciate it. And we're going to have some fun.
Cool.
We are.
Yes.
All right. So first up, Eric, why don't you do your first introduction, sir?
Well, my first introduction would be Miss Erica Fernandez. She is the host of Curls and Sports. Erica, would you mind giving us your IG handle, and we'll go from there?
Of course. Well, hi everyone. Thank you so much, guys, for having me on. This is awesome that people are participating year in and year out more and more on Women's History Month and International Women's Day as well. My Instagram and Twitter handle is Curls and Sports, host of the podcast, and yeah, it's been a pretty good ride. Just trying to get back into the wave and not forcing the creative input on it.
You say the creative process?
Thank you. Process. I don't know where my brain was at, but thank you.
No, that's okay. I got you. I listen to your show on the regular, so I got you.
Thank you, guys.
I'm going to go ahead and throw it to James. James?
Yes, sir. Next, we have representing the Fat Girl Chronicles. We got Miss Leo Rochelle. What's up, Miss Leo?
How y'all doing?
We are doing great. Thank you so much for being on the show, and just want to throw out your IG. Everyone, go ahead and follow Fat Girls Chronicles at the Fat Girl Chronicles.
Yes, that's it.
Dope.
Miss Leo, tell us a little bit about your show.
Well, it is myself along with 6 other dope co-hosts. We have myself and 4 weekly standing co-hosts, and then we have 2 rotating co-hosts. And our 2 rotating co-hosts, they come on and give us information about health and wellness, and then we have a money man that comes in and gives us money topics and information every week. But we rotate our topics. We have a good time. We have fun with each other, and there's nothing that we won't talk about on the Fat Girl Chronicles. So that's where we are every Tuesday, which we lovingly call Fat Tuesday. And we are available on all podcast streaming platforms, including Audible, Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeart, Spotify, all those dope places. So that's us.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Eric, who you got next?
I've got Miss Chica Simone. So if you wouldn't mind, please let us know where we can find you, and just kind of give us a brief elevator version of what your show was about.
Absolutely. Good evening to everybody. Ladies, good evening. Nice to meet you all.
Hey.
And I am actually with the X Squad Radio Network, and my co-host is a gentleman, and his name is Dan Didier. The name of my show is called the Let's Get It All Out Show with Chica Simone and Dan Didier. We're on every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern. And my Instagram and Twitter handle is Chica Simone for both, ChicaSimone.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And I've had the good fortune of checking out, a lot of your material too. So definitely impressed with the content of the show. Mr. Montgomery, you're very welcome. Who's next, sir?
Next is the Girlfriends Experience. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
We got, now let's see if I got this right. We got Jennifer and Shanice. Jennifer's in the yellow. Shanice is, I can't see what color you
Not
are.
in yellow?
Not in yellow. There we
Not
go.
in yellow.
Not in yellow. Did I get that right? Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So these ladies, like I said, are co-hosts of the Girlfriend Experience, and their IG for the show is at girlfriends.experience. And Shanice can be found at What's Not I'm sorry, what's not underscore to love. So WTSNOT underscore the number 2 LUV. And Jennifer's at IMLUVENME for me, the number 4 ME. I couldn't understand my own handwriting. I'm sorry, ladies. Did I get that right?
Yes. That's right.
Okay, awesome. So tell us a little bit about your shows and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. You want me to go? Okay.
Go ahead.
So our show is new. We just released episode 3. Episodes drop every Wednesday, and it's really supposed to feel like girls' night. So Jen and I have been friends for 23 years, Jordan year.
Yep.
And we are always, well, especially me, I'm always making friends. I just drag her along. But every night is girls' night. So nothing is off the table. We talk about lots of things, but then sometimes too, we like to get into things that affect the Black community. So like what's happening in the news, politics. We're a little bit of everything.
Awesome. Well, we're definitely going to talk about some of your episodes. I got a few things I want to bring up to y'all, just FYI.
Uh-oh.
So like, we in trouble already.
Eric, who's next?
I think we just got one left. I believe that's Miss Adrian, right?
No, you got, wait, hold on. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I got Adrian. I'm sorry. I was missed my notes here on you having someone else. So yeah, it's me again. Adrian, welcome to the show.
Hey, I could have did the
Survival
introduction.
Life.
I could have did the intro. I remembered her name.
If you did remember it, kudos to you for that. Now I'm mute. Anyway, so welcome to the show. IG Survival Life is your IG handle. Tell us a little bit about your podcast and welcome to the show. And what up, though?
Hey, what up, though? Yes, so we have to greet like that because I'm by way of Detroit from Inkster. But my podcast is fairly new as well. I'm on my 2nd season, trying to get my feet planted. But Survival Life is all about Black self-sufficiency. And what we do is we do educational resources, provide educational resources, do training for things related to outdoors. So that could be camping, primitive survival, emergency preparedness, and homesteading. So we have a lot of people that are into from firearms to farming, from canning to camping. We do it all. So I just like to share that journey and just share information on how everyone can do little things to become more self-sufficient in their community.
Yes.
And I really love some of your episodes as well that I had an opportunity to listen to. Definitely listen to some more. Definitely have some questions for you as well as we go along. So girlfriend experience, y'all not the only one in trouble.
Okay.
That's good. But in an apocalypse, we want to talk to her.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
You listen to some of her content, you will be well prepared for the apocalypse. I can assure you. Hey, what's up, Dan?
All right, Eric, who you want to start with questions?
You know what? Let's go with the girlfriend experience. You know what? Let's go with the girlfriend experience.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll start there. All right. So, girlfriend experience. So, you guys said you've been friends about 23 years, huh?
Yes.
How'd you guys meet?
Well, it was a bright and sunny day. We actually met. We were 10. We were in 5th grade. I had moved from Philly down here to Delaware, so we were in the same 5th grade class. And then, probably within a few weeks, Shanice was ripped from me and she moved. But we stayed in contact via, mail because we got in trouble often, so we couldn't be on the phone. So we stayed in contact with mail. We call them jail letters. And we survived. So, I mean, after that, just we worked together, plenty of jobs. Our kids are best friends. So
They're 4 months
Awesome.
apart.
4 months apart.
Exactly.
We do everything together.
Oh,
We're probably
that's
breathing
dope.
at the same pace.
That is an awesome experience. You know, they say when you hang around somebody so much that you start looking like the other person.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
I can tell that y'all have been friends.
Because we like to shop together.
Right, yeah.
Oh boy. You know what? Shopping during the pandemic. Oh man.
Oh, Amazon's my best friend. They know me by first name. Yeah.
I'm sure the UPS and the FedEx drivers, they know all y'all information, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Jennifer, I got to ask you something specifically. You said something on a recent episode.
Okay.
I'm competitive. I beat kids.
Oh, I do kids all day. Yes.
Oh, don't make no sense.
So tell us about that, please. I'm the same way though.
I believe that life does not give you handouts and easy wins, so you have to start young. So I don't care if it's Uno and you have one card. If I have a draw 2 and 4 draw 4s, you're getting every single one at a slow pace, so I can see you look at me handing you the card. It's just, I can't help it. I'm very competitive. I have a competitive family. Told you I'm from Philly, so you don't get an easy handout in life. It's life lessons.
You know what? I couldn't agree with you more. When my son was 6, we would play basketball, and I would block his shot like every chance I get. And if I couldn't block it, I'll fly the hell out of him. You know, it is what it is. You're gonna learn.
Your kneecaps can get it. Your kneecaps can get it.
Hey, it is what it is.
Yep, I agree.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, no, I don't care what game it is.
Well, you know what? I guess we don't want to see them in spades either, do we?
I'm not going. I don't want my card revoked, but I really don't know how to play spades. But I got you Uno.
What?
I got you Uno. I learned how to play in biology class, and I forgot that was years ago. So, but
Wow.
we're not on that subject. Next question. Mhm.
I was like, hey, the black delegation about to unfollow us. Don't say that.
Right. Just joking.
I mean, I just think we have to take a vote here. All in favor of Jennifer losing her card right here, right now, raise your hand.
Look.
Ooh,
Dang, I'm the only one. Dang.
Well, I gotta support.
Fry some chicken. What you want? We ain't gotta just be cards. I can get my
Wait,
card
you
back
said
up the
fried
way.
chicken? I'm putting my hand down.
So she gonna supply the food for the game night.
Exactly.
Okay, okay.
I'm all about theme and hospitality. I got y'all.
Well, we appreciate that. HBO, help a brother out. Appreciate it.
Wait, I'm stealing that.
Yeah.
Eric,
Sir?
next.
Let me see. Let's spin the wheel, make the deal here. You know what? I think
My wife raised her hand too.
oh, Shay raised her hand? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I've got a question for Erica.
Straight. Man.
Is Erica still on?
No, Erica just. Oh wait, here she's back.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry guys.
That's okay. Erica, you know what? You mentioned earlier today, jokingly about the process, but that's actually one of the questions that I wanted to ask you about the process. You took some time off. You just recently got married, so I was just kind of curious on how do you balance like home life and being a podcaster?
I think that you kind of have to just like learn how to prioritize. So you want to make sure that you don't neglect, your career aspirations, and you want to get lost in these new roles. And it's hard because it's like, oh, I could just do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next week, and the next week turns into 3 weeks from now, and it's like, oh, I haven't put on an episode in a month. So I think that it's a lot of self-sabotage, and I'm just trying to hold myself a lot more accountable these days.
All right. Well, you're doing a good job. And this, you know what? The last time that we had the good fortune of having you on our podcast, there was one really impressive thing that we saw. I think that was like a nail polish collection that you had was like ridiculous. How many bottles of like nail polish that you have?
Well, it's funny. I remember I read in an article once that doing your own nails is like very therapeutic, but I also disagree with it because like the amount of times like, let's say I have to go use the bathroom and then my thumb just crashes into my shorts or anything, and I'm just like, oh Jesus, like I immediately curse. So that's I'm like, I don't really agree with that, but whatever. I want to say like maybe if I'm counting off the top of my head, maybe 30 or more, but I'm always buying them. I found a good wholesale spot around the way.
That was way more than 30 bottles. I think it was like probably about a good, like what, 50 or 75 bottles that we saw.
I don't know if
And that was just on the right side.
Right. Yeah. That
I
was
don't know.
like,
I'm trying to think about it. I'm mentally counting only because I haven't put it up yet because we just moved, so my nail salon hasn't been set up yet.
Okay. So just one last follow-up question on that, and I know this is totally off topic, but do you do other people's nails, or you pretty much just stick to your own?
I've done my nieces. When friends ask me to do them, like, hey, you're coming over, cool. Do you mind just fixing my stuff up? And it's the kindness of my heart. So to me, I just get it's very peaceful. That's why that's probably where the therapeutic part comes in, but I could be wrong.
All right. And one last question. I promise this is the last one.
You said that like 3 questions ago.
Okay. Well, you know what I lied.
James.
But answer me this though.
Yes.
You ever give your husband a manicure?
No, actually, he does his own stuff. So I'd be like, all right, you got it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. All right. Mr. Montgomery.
All right, Miss Leo, you're up.
Hey.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
So I would listen to an episode, and I would love for you to talk to the panel as well as the listeners about this. I think it was very important. Episode you had, they say a man ain't supposed to cry. And there was a certain caption that I wrote down that I would like for you to really speak on. We live in a time where the Black man is constantly being broken down, but society expects him to be attentive and emotionally available to emotions of everyone in his life, but somehow suppress his own. I think that just like really captured that so well. Tell me us about that show. How did that conversation go, and what prompted that conversation as well?
Well, a lot of the prompting kind of came from social media and even like the men in my own life, like my brothers, my cousins, and things like that. My friends, my male friends and things. And I've noticed that the world that we live in, we expect our men to be superhuman, and we expect them to be available to us when we're emotional, when we're crying, when we're not our best, when we feel sad, when we're upset. But yet we don't give them that same regard. We don't give them that same option. We don't give them that same courtesy. Because it's like, well, you're too soft, or man up, or you crying? What you crying for? So it's always that women seem to be taken aback when a man shows any bit of emotion. And so especially our Black men and our young Black men and our Black boys, they aren't given the space to work through their emotions or even cry and then go back and explain what they felt or talk about what they feel. It's like, man up right now. You men ain't supposed to cry. Boys not supposed to cry. You're a man, so man up. And that's unrealistic because we still want them to be available to us when we feel emotional, when we're crying, when we're sad, when we're down. But how? How do we expect them to be that way to us when we don't allow them the opportunity to be that way with us? We don't allow them to be emotionally available to us, but then we expect them to be emotionally available to us. That doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense in any shape, form, or fashion. So we have to open up those doors and open up those spaces for our Black men, Black boys to be able to tap into their emotions, because we have a lot of emotionally unavailable, emotionally drained and cut off men, which is why a lot of them respond in the way they do when they deal with rejection or when they deal with things that are problematic in their lives. So either we're going to start opening those spaces for them, or we're going to continue to see the type of violence towards women or children that we've seen because they don't have the outlet to express their emotions. So,
if I could chime in,
Sure.
Leo, you bring up an excellent point. Since the pandemic, domestic violence has, my goodness, it's probably like tripled. But oddly enough, the greatest increase was not in the African American community. So believe it or not, and you bring up some very excellent points. We have this thing about being a Black man that we aren't supposed to show any emotion because we really didn't have anybody to modern ourselves after that. It was like, be strong, you just have to deal with it, blah, 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 blah. But if you can't be vulnerable with the person who you're supposed to be with the women in your life, whether it's your mom, whether it's your sisters, whether it's your wife, girlfriend, whatever, we're setting a bad precedence for our children. We're telling them, treat this person right. Part of treatment is getting all of that emotion out. Yep. And it's hard. It's extremely difficult when you go through hell during the world, but you go through even bigger hell when you come back
when
home.
you get home.
So
Yep.
I am in 100% agreement with you on that. I'm still trying to get in touch with that, honestly, myself. I wouldn't really consider myself an emotional person, but sometimes you have to breathe.
Gotta let it go, brother.
You got to let it go. So you know what? Thank you for bringing that point up. And
No
James,
problem.
I apologize about interrupting.
No problem at all. I just to piggyback. I mean, it's like a pressure cooker. If you a pressure cooker needs to release, right? It's just and that's just what we have to do as men too. And the question is how. That's something that we haven't really been taught. So I'm fortunate. The women I talked about in the beginning of the show. Open doors, all three of them. That I can just go and talk to them about anything. My father, when he was alive, not so much. He was he was that guy. Boys don't cry. You're being a girl. If you cry. So it's like, man, you beating the hell out of me. How am I supposed to not cry? But nevertheless, that was his generation. But it's definitely time to break that cycle without a doubt. So. Leo, definitely enjoyed that episode as well.
Well,
So
thank you. It was actually one of my favorites from this season. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we do invite all of you ladies, at the end of the podcast, please drop your links. I know that you already gave us your IG, addresses and the platforms that we can find you on, but we would very much appreciate it if you would take the time, drop your links at the Ear Hustling Podcast Facebook page, the Twitter page. We have our own IG page, so we very much would appreciate that.
Awesome. Will do.
All right, Eric, you got Miss Chica on deck.
Yes, I do. Miss Chica Simone, how are you?
Doing fantastic. How is everybody? Thank you.
Well, Miss Chica, I've got a couple of questions for you. I listened to a lot of your episodes, but there was this one particular one that resonated. You did this one. It was actually about a year ago, but everything that you said then just ties in so nicely in what's going on now. I believe you had a guest on. His name was Spencer Tibble. You guys were discussing a variety of things, but the one thing that stood out, and this is still resonating almost a year today, is that you brought up a topic of stimulus checks and the fact that the places that were immediately being opened were in the inner city. You had some very, very strong feelings about that. As you look back, what you said in April and how things are kind of coming to fruition now, do you still feel the same way that the government is opening back up everything to the public? Is it helping or is it hurting us? And what I mean by us as minorities.
Absolutely.
And before you answer that, Chica, please tell the listeners who may not have heard that episode, what were your thoughts on that specifically?
Absolutely. And it's funny that you bring that up. That was quite some time ago and many guests ago, which I still do remember that episode. But I will say, I actually have had COVID. And I remember when it first came out, it was almost like a conspiracy theory with many people because they actually thought that it was a gimmick, it was a hoax. And so many people ran with it. However, a lot of people's lives were lost and many people came out the woodworks letting everyone know, hey, I had it or I lost loved ones. This is a real situation. Now, back then during that interview, I actually was a little bothered by the many places that were still operable, still open, were in the inner cities, our people. And I thought, wait a minute, they can shut down Buckhead, Hollywood, all these fabulous areas, but, our neighborhoods, what's going on with this, And the funny thing too, in some of the inner city neighborhoods that were still open, we did have a curfew. But in those inner city areas, some people were still getting out because things were still open. And that allowed the opportunity for law enforcement to come in and handle their business, which was not cool. So I didn't like that at all. And the thing now, I can honestly say after having COVID, because I'm going to tell you, I wash my hands religiously, sanitize, wear my mask, social distance, and do not know how I caught it at all. My symptoms were not as bad, but I did have some. So I really feel it's unfortunate for the many of lives that were lost behind this. And now it seems that things are trying to open slowly but surely, almost 100%. And it looks like Texas is one of the first states that's on the verge, if not already, opening 100% and allowing you to walk around without a mask. I know that's in effect right now. Personally, I'm not ready for that. I'm personally not ready for that. And even my kids, my youngest two kids, they're virtual learning. And with the virtual learning, they have the option to go back to school physically or stay home. I would not let them because several cases in my both of them, high school and middle school, there were cases several times of someone having COVID. So I thought, wow, this is interesting. Are we really ready to open up everything? And now they have these vaccines that I'm totally not ready to take right now because it seems like there was not enough testing. It just came out, it seems like we need a longer run with these vaccines, at least before I decide to take it in my family, my children. So it's a lot of things with that I'm very uncomfortable with.
Okay. I've just got one question. Well, a couple of questions. One, where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles by
You're
way
from
of New
LA.
Orleans, yes, but I've lived in Atlanta since '94.
Okay. Okay. And you feel, because actually Mississippi is another state that decided to open up too,
Hmm.
open it up 100% just a year after everything. You personally said that you're not ready for that, but do you think that really what happened down over in Texas with, the bad weather and the power outages and all of that other stuff, do you feel that that had a bearing on the decision to open up because the state lost so much money?
Well, I do know in my heart that could be the reason why. And they're doing a disservice to the state, in my opinion, by doing this. Um, there's other ways I'm sure that they can get some funds for this specific state or for the state of Texas. But I do not think opening it up 100% is going to help. Imagine this still being a situation where so many people catch the virus, and the next thing you know, it's going to be like New York was. Everybody was sick, flooded, everybody's on ventilators. I don't know if you even read, they had trucks, freezer trucks full of bodies. We don't want to hear this again. We don't want this to be repeated again. So my opinion, I'm sure, many different ways that they could get some form of funding without having to open up the city 100%. I think it should still be gradual. Let's see how the numbers pan out before the end of 2021. Let's kind of ease our way into 2022 just to see how it pans out with lowering, because every time I turn around, I still see posts, somebody passed away from COVID, somebody just caught it, somebody sick. It's like that's all you hear.
Right. Well, thank you very much for that. And I've got one more question. And then, James, if you got a follow-up question, please jump in. It's about Black businesses. Do you think that minorities give other minority businesses maybe not a fair shake because of the fact that they're minority businesses? Do you think that people feel that they're entitled to some sort of discount or some sort of rate where they would?
Oh, wow. I can go on for days about that. But no, just in short, I will be honest, Eric. At one time ago, it was terrible because we were not supporting each other enough. I see our communities coming together, Black businesses. We're all making sure that we cater to our Black businesses and put what we have into it. I'm seeing a lot more of that. I'm seeing a lot of people posting Black businesses. It's so much going on right now that is very helpful for us. So I definitely see a change now compared to what it was before this whole pandemic had started. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm seeing a lot more with our culture transpiring as well, with the whole Black Lives Matter situation and so on and so forth. So it's gotten a lot better, and I'm liking what I see.
It's good. Thank you very much. And I love that answer. Thank you very much. James, do you have anything for Ms. Simone?
No, not right now. Like she said, that conversation could definitely go on. That was a very well put together answer she had in a small amount of time, and we definitely talk about that a whole episode.
Yeah,
So, yeah. So we want to go ahead and ask Adrian a question here, and then we want to get into our little game before we continue on. So y'all get ready. Adrian, Survival Life. Tell us a little bit about the Black Bottom Gun Club.
Yes, Black Bottom Gun Club. So it is a Detroit chapter of the NAGA, which NAGA stands for the National African American Gun Association. And so through Black Bottom Gun Club, they offer educational resources like training. So they'll bring people out, tactical firearm folks. They'll bring them out. We'll do different type of training scenarios with our firearms, whether it just be learning from basics for a lot of people who are new to it, like how to properly holster your gun, proper holsters that you should have. We've done tactical where I've seen some people, I'm not at that level, so I'm a newbie gun owner, but I get a lot of my training from the men and the women. The women in there are dynamic. And actually, that was probably one of my favorite episodes from Survival Life podcast is the one that I did with the ladies of Black Bottom Gun Club. But it's really, it's a great organization because they not only do that, but they do a lot of boots on the ground work. So they're doing a lot of community service. They do volunteer their time. There are, unfortunately, even just like yesterday or the day before yesterday, 2 different instances where young kids get a hold of the gun, and someone shot, critical condition, or dies. Like, you hear this story over and over again. So their mission is really like, there's no reason why this should still be happening, so trying to educate people on proper, putting your gun away properly. Or people who's open carrying. Like, there's a couple of videos, I don't know if you saw it, where some guy open carries and somebody looks, grabs it and runs. Like, there's no reason why. So now you got somebody on the street that they're not even like grabbing iPhones anymore. They're grabbing guns and running with them. So you can only imagine what's going to happen, what that firearm is going to be used for. So just giving that education and getting Black people particularly comfortable, because we've had a history of just not being, you always hear about 2A and this is your right. And it really has never been given to Black people as a right. It's either been taken from us, or once we did have firearms, I think even within the Black community, we looked at it in an ill sort of way. So they just do a lot of education on just the history of Black firearm ownership and training up people.
Wow, that's amazing. I'll be honest, I've never heard of NAGA, but I definitely will be looking into that. Someone once told me a short while ago that, and I'm sure you guys have heard this as well, so start hearing a lot more. The way to bring in gun control laws is allow Black people to start getting more guns. If we go out and we get our weapons permit, that's where we're going to get stiffer laws. Then people are going to get scared because we're doing it. But nevertheless, so have you heard? So one thing I love about your show, Adrian, is you talk about living self-sufficient, and I love that idea. Have you heard about Toomsboro, Georgia? Chica Simone, I'm sure you have.
Is that the family who went in and? No, I'm not sure about that one.
No, you're on to that. 19 families, a small city in Georgia, bought 90 acres of land. And Chica, have you heard about that?
I'm sitting here like, what am I missing? I have not heard.
It's, you know what? I want to go down there just to take a look. It's near Macon. And from what I heard, the last thing I heard, I want to say HGTV or OWN, one of the 2 networks, I can't remember, is picking up some filming rights, and they're going to start filming. And it's a cool idea. 19 families, 90 something acres of land. It's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's funny. I think I live in my own little bubble in social media. Like, in my mind, everybody's a farmer right now because all of my friends are farmers. All of them are talking about getting land and going in together. Like, when those stimulus checks came out, I can't tell you how many threads I was on. It was like, okay, if we all put in this money, like we get this many people, we can get a nice plot of land. And ultimately, that is the goal of Survival Life, is to have survival land, I call it, where people can come, a camp resort, although by resort it's going to be pretty primitive, so I don't know how many people want to come there. But if you're game, come through. But yeah, just like teaching people about like growing your own foods, like it's not as simple as putting, nature does its thing, but you also have to help nature along, especially since we've kind of robbed the earth of its nutrients and we put in their poisons with our weed killers and all that stuff. But yeah, I love what they're doing. And honestly, I think again, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups where people are either Black homesteaders or Black farmers, and a lot of them are grabbing up land. Like, if you look at the studies of how much land has been lost from Black people, taken actually, like just taken from them, it's ridiculous. And I think honestly, land ownership is probably one of the most important things that we need to do as a people.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I have one last. Go ahead, Eric.
No, you know what? And the irony is, me and a few friends of mine, we were talking about the fact that Blacks, as far as being agricultural leaders, think about what we did in the slave industry. That's all we did was agriculture. That's all we did was like 10 farm. That's all we did. That is all we did. But now if you even look at how many Blacks are actually into agriculture, oh my God, I think it's like less than 5%. And I'm probably being generous with that number. Yeah. So it's definitely in our DNA, to be able to take care of what we own. But it's just, it's crazy how it works to certain folks' benefit. But then when we start coming up with more creative ideas on how to tend land, which is how we got a lot of the farming practices that we have now, it's through minorities.
Exactly. And that kind of goes back to, I'm sorry, I was just thinking when James said about I think it was James who said about the stricter gun laws, like, okay, let some Black people get it. I guarantee those laws are going to change. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, like, so Black women, they said, have the women with firearms, Black women with firearms are like the #1 increasing population. Like the stats, I don't want to give out the wrong stats, but it was actually amazing how many Black women are now firearm owners. So, it's just seeing that. And then I'm looking at, like you said, Eric, with the percentage of Black farmers that's out there is so small, but we're just inching up there slowly but surely. So it'd be interesting to see how that looks 5 years from now and 10 years from now.
It definitely is. And then one last thing I wanted to say about the gun laws over in Michigan. In Michigan, obviously we just recently became an open carrying state, and we recently became a legalized marijuana state. You can either have one card or the other, but you can't have both.
So be very wise. Yeah, if you're
something to think about. What do you want to do more? Do you want to shoot or do you want to smoke? You only do one legally. What's it going to be? And so that just like is the little, the little tricks of the trade. So it's to me, it's just amazing. We need to get these laws changed because there ain't too many people who smoked and actually shot somebody. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Adrian, I have one last question for you before we move on to our game here. And Jennifer, don't get too happy about the game. It's not competitive, so don't beat nobody up.
That's probably good. I'll behave.
Good. So, Adrian, the last question I have for you right now. We're a couple weeks into March, and in one of your episodes, you mentioned that you had Freed Up February. How did that go for you? And tell the people about Freed Up February.
Not too good. So for Freed Up February, that was my effort to become a minimalist. So currently, I really want to. Okay, so ultimately, I don't want to be a 365 year-round van life person or RV life, but my goal. My son is 16 now, so in a couple of years, I've been eyeballing RVs, thinking about what I want to travel and semi-live in, part-time live in. So Free It Up Friday was this idea to get rid of everything you don't need, like get rid of it, have attachment to nothing. The only thing I won't give up are all these plants that's in the background.
Yes, I've been admiring them the whole time.
It's like 100. There's 100+ plants in my house right now, so I don't know what I'm going to do with those. But like clothes, give it
Oh
up,
wow.
minimalize. One of the big things is like, okay, I can't do everything, right? So what's one thing I want to concentrate on? And this may sound trivial, but to me, it's so important. Is less water. I'm like, man, I really use up a lot. Like when you're washing out a dish and you dump it, wash it out again, dump it and dump it. So I'm like, I'm going to make myself be more responsible for the water that I dump down the drain. So I've been a lot more intent on not necessarily, like I don't ever run the water now. Like if I do, I catch myself. The shower, I give myself, hey, you better be in that shower in 10 seconds. Don't let it run for more than a minute or 2 minutes. And then I just try to recycle water that's clean water, of course. I want to get to the point where I can know how to filter out, some of the other water, use it for plants. And the reason why I thought about water, because we went camping and we do rustic camping. So there are no nice little facilities for you to go to. And you have to
So no glamping.
No glamping. We don't do glamping. Yeah, we're still, I mean, sometimes we want to treat ourselves, we'll do a little glamping, but we had to carry and I had to do a lot of it because I kind of organized the event, but carrying 7 gallons of water across a big old field so somebody can wash dishes and carry another 7 gallons so somebody can wash their hands. Like when that saying that you understand the importance of water when you have to carry it, you don't want one drop to go to waste. And so that was my Freed Up February. I haven't freed up much. I just need someone to come in. I'm a hoarder. I think I'm a hoarder. I think I get it from my mom, my grandma. It's like that whole recession, like back in the Depression happened and they say every single thing.
Yeah.
It's almost like a trauma response to life. And I know I have it, so I'm trying, James. I know you're calling me out on it. I didn't do too good.
Oh, no, I want you on the highway. That's all. But I love how you said you want to be a minimalist, but you said you're a hoarder. So, you got a little ways to go there, but you can do it.
Okay.
It's funny, honestly, and real quick, my wife and I, before our son left home, we lived in an 1,800 square foot home, and we always wanted to live in the downtown area. So we got a 1-bedroom apartment, 700 square feet. So we had to talk about becoming a minimalist. We got rid of everything and started over. So sometimes you just need a little nudge, but you'll get there.
That's true. I need to take some tips from you then.
Oh no, it's my wife. I'm just her messenger.
He cried like a baby.
Like, don't let me get rid of my snuggle bug. Anyway. All right, so it's game time. So we're going to play a game called Tell Us, all right? And it's going to be real simple. We just want to learn a little bit more about you ladies. So before the show, Eric and I put our wisdom together. It was a very short conversation. And we had some predetermined colors that you guys will have. So we're going to start with Chica Simone. Okay. Chica, your color is orange. So orange means tell us something you do well.
Something that I do well is clean up and cook. Well. And I say that basically because I have OCD, and everything I tell people has its own home. If you take it from there, bring it home, put it back in the same spot. So that's one thing. And then, of course, cooking, you can't be from New Orleans and not know how to cook. So those are the things that I do very well. And can I just say one more, being a mother too. If anything, that more than anything.
Awesome. So do you subscribe to a theory? My wife told me about this, where whenever you are out and about, before you buy something, you manage your house from the store. So whatever you buy, you want to picture where it's going to go before you bring it into your house. Do you do that as well?
That's so funny that you say that because I never thought that I was that type of person. But yes, I actually do that because one thing I know is if I'm getting boxes of something, I know exactly where it's got to go, how much room is left in the cabinets, the pantry. So I know that it will all fit. So I guess person.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Oh
Awesome.
my God.
I need people to go.
Erica, we're coming to you next. Your color is red. So tell us something about your childhood.
Something about my childhood. That is kind of a on spot. I would say I grew up in a house with 2 boys. So sometimes I could be a little bit on the tomboy side. And then, I have my girly side as well. So, but sometimes it's a little bit hard to balance because either I could be very tough and then not, they told me man up so many times and I'm like, okay, I guess that's the only thing I have to do is just man up.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say that's something about my childhood.
Okay. All right. Miss Leo, your color is blue. Tell us something you can't live without.
Music.
Nice.
I would say music and my family. I have gone through so many losses and lost so many things in this life. But the 2 things that have always remained consistent is music and my siblings. They keep me grounded, they keep me moving forward, and they give me something to look forward to on a daily basis. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Favorite genre?
Oh, I would say soul music. And right under that would be jazz. I love me some good old school jazz, some Miles Davis, some John Coltrane. That'll get me in the perfect mood to create and to do anything I need to do. Clean up, create, take a nap. Like,
Not a nap.
It'll help. Like, soon as you lay down and you hear that music going, you get relaxed. It's like, all right, good night. I'm out of here. So it'll help you. It'll help you do everything you need to do with no hesitation. Yep.
Okay. All right. Miss Adrian, you know what? I think I already know the answer to this, and we just met, but your color is yellow. Tell us something you've learned.
Something that I've learned is that probably I would say something that I learned about myself maybe would be I'm more resourceful than I give myself credit for. I'm tougher and stronger than I give myself credit for. So yeah, definitely would have to say that resourcefulness is something that maybe I don't kind of toot or like blow my horn about, but I really do think I'm a very resourceful person.
Okay. All right, awesome. Miss Shanice, your color is brown. So tell us something about yesterday.
Oh, well, I've been tired all week, and yesterday was no different. Let's start with that. Yesterday was probably a chill day. Me and Jen talked. We got ready for today to make sure we could show up and look like we cared about life. So you got the best of us at 9:00 on a Thursday night. This is a school day.
Okay. Awesome. So is it normally bedtime around this time?
We try to tell you we're getting old now. Yes.
Hold on. One of y'all episodes, y'all was talking about going out and giving out hugs and
yes. And then I paid for it the next episode, and
we were hurt.
Mm-hmm. You know what they talking that old stuff? I bet you that they ages are probably still on the calendar, James.
No, it's not anymore.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Really? They over there laughing so hard. They laughing just like too hard. That's why y'all tired, because y'all laugh all the time. That's
That is all the time.
But that's good though. That's good though. Everybody on this panel seems to have like a really, really happy spirit, and I'm so fortunate to be
I've
around.
been eyeballing Leo and Adrian's cup. I said, "Oh, maybe we should have had cups too." That was a good idea.
You know what? Off the camera, I don't have a cup, but I got a shot glass.
Hey, listen.
Nice.
You gotta have it
Tomorrow's
all.
Friday.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm sorry, James. You know me. I'm a couple of times short of an hour. My bad.
Not a couple, a few.
I accept my faults. That's why you have to have strong women around. I accept my faults.
Yeah, I hear you. Jennifer, last one.
Okay.
Your color is green.
Okay.
Tell us something you watch or listen to.
Watch it. Well, I don't watch a lot of anything. So shockingly, I like Broadway plays. So like Rent, it's one of my favorite movies. So anything musical like. I think the last thing I watched was the new Wicked for Whitney. So it was Whitney Houston songs to the musical Wicked. And I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy it, but I watched it 3 times already. So anything with music or plays, Broadway, I love.
Okay. All right. Eric, I have one last thing that I would like to.
Yes.
What was that?
I said, oh, and she said, I thought you were going to say Backstreet Boys. I said, oh, yeah, and the Backstreet Boys.
Oh.
It's a childhood thing.
What we do.
It's what we do.
We went to the concert.
Yeah. We're not what we look like. I tell you, it's a pocket full of.
Oh, you know what? We figured that out when you said you didn't play spades.
Well, she does fried chicken.
Like, I need to go to.
I was about to say that she made it up for fried chicken.
I just thought about something. Anybody can fry chicken. How's the chicken seasoned?
You season from
accent
inside
or
out.
do you
Yeah.
use
Let
It's not just salt and pepper. I need to see the seasoning inside out.
That's
I'm feeling
it. That's it.
like Lowry's, right? Like
The Lowry's, we got some complete season, some Sasson. If I spill a little spicy, if I feel like going a little international, you'll never know.
Okay, you might have to have a cooking segment, James. What you think?
I like.
Hey, your Delaware is not that far.
No, it definitely isn't. Yeah, so yeah, she'd be like, no.
No, don't come to Delaware. We'll meet you in Philly. Ain't nothing in Delaware.
That's true.
We'll go to Philly.
Well, hey, you know, our president was from Delaware.
That's true.
Yes.
So
He's not here anymore. He's in DC.
He came from Delaware, so you know, hey. But yeah, we'll meet you halfway to be cooking in Philly. How about that?
That works.
Okay.
That works.
So speaking of Philly, before we move on to the next part, where's the best Philly cheesesteak in y'all opinion?
I like Pagano's.
What's the name of it?
Pagano's.
Is that where Rocky? Is that where Rocky was at that little restaurant?
No, what was?
No, I thought that was
Jim's.
Jim's.
Yeah.
That's Jim's.
I'll put cheese.
Jim's, okay.
No.
When I was in Philly, I did go there.
Okay.
Did
So,
you like it?
It was definitely better than any Philly cheesesteak that we had in Detroit.
Oh well, any cheesesteak that you get in Philly is gonna be better than any place that
Anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'd like for y'all to come up to
Definitely
Detroit
have to
and come to one of our Coney Island restaurants, because we may not have y'all on the Philly cheesesteaks, but I'm telling you, there's some delicious food in the D. Trust me.
Okay, well,
When outside open up,
we get
We want outside open ups.
But you know, our governor, she don't play.
we say yes, ma'am, no,
She's a
ma'am.
beast.
I dress her.
We call her Big Gretch up here, big Gretch.
Not Big Gretch.
And we don't want no smoke.
Nope.
You know, she cussed out 45 on quite a few occasions.
And she should have.
And he both deserve
She
it.
sure has.
That's right. That's
And
right.
with the left, I got the right. We Big G, what up?
So you know this topic of food all started with Erica talking about her cooking right now, and
Right.
she said she's good at cooking. And it's just been like talking about food ever since.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? It's that time. We need to go ahead and end the show so all of us can eat.
Right. But before we do, I would like for the ladies to do a couple things before we leave. I would like to hear from each of you. What is your favorite episode, as well as anything else you would like to say about your podcast? So, Erica, let's start with you.
Okay. I would say with mine, it's still, again, like I haven't even reached a double digits yet, but I think that my favorite has to be when I kind of related back talking about Pat Mahomes' engagement ring for his wife, and that helped a lot of guys out because they don't really know the 4 C's. And that's something that I learned from my husband too. He put me on, aside from my parents did, because my parents used to, before they retired, they were jewelers. So I love the fact that I got really good feedback and people were like, wow, I didn't even know. I was taking notes. So yeah, I would say that's probably my favorite episode so far.
Okay. All right. Awesome. What can we expect to hear from you in the very near future, Erica?
Oh, I actually recorded an episode. I'm sorry. I recorded an interview with a friend this past Tuesday, and I'm going to try to see if I could put out the episode tomorrow and go back on my Fridays. Fridays are my favorite day of the week, so I'm going to try to stick to that schedule.
Awesome. Awesome. And one last thing, did get a chance to see that you talked to Julius Randle?
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. I'm really happy that that email came through because I was like, okay, cool. Let me prepare and get it out the way and put something out there and just kind of slowly get back into the groove of working.
Awesome. Awesome. Great job. As Eric said, definitely love listening to your show. Most definitely. And you are part of BS3 Radio Network. So what do you like about being part of the network?
I love the culture. I love the sense of community because you don't really get that from other places. Like other places, it makes it seem like, you know, you're competing and there's no competition in this. Like either you're putting out good content that people want to listen to or not. And I really just love the feedback. Like, hey, listen to the episode. This is great. And being able to participate in other people's shows like you guys. Like I haven't been able to have you guys on my show, but soon enough I will.
Awesome.
One thing, get back into the groove of things.
Well, we will be honored, and I definitely want to thank you for pitching in that week that I wasn't supposed to be here, but wind up popping up. But I appreciate the fact that you did. So, like I said, you know, the sense of community, you know, with all of the networks that we're associated with is outstanding. So thank you very much for everything you've done for the Ear Hustling podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Erica. And Chica, as you mentioned earlier, you are part of the X Squad Radio Network, and so are we. We're also part of BS3 Radio, so definitely proud members of both organizations. What do you like being a part of this network?
You know, I love being a part of this network because it's so family. It's like a lot of us have never met each other, and it's like we know each other so well. It's just so family oriented, and you have a variety of different shows. And it's just awesome when you can listen to every single person's podcast and just get something different from each person. It's all very entertaining.
Yeah, most definitely. And we don't have representation on this network, but we also are members of the Scene Snob. So we're part of Three Networks, and it's a great thing. I definitely agree with both Erica and Chica about the value that it brings.
Yeah.
Miss Leo, I heard you say something about on one of your episodes. Hang on, I got a note here. JQLM Radio. What is that all about?
JQLM Radio is an internet-based radio station that is based out of Indianapolis, and we're heard worldwide. So we are a syndicated show on that radio station.
Awesome. What do you like about being part of that station?
I like it because it's not just a radio station. So they have a radio station, and I am also the managing editor for the Ego magazine that is also a part of that network. And then they also are working or have a TV network that is in the works. So they have a whole, little entertainment network going on. And so JQLM is just one part of it. So I like being a part of it because we all have the opportunity to grow and expand across the board and not just be stuck as far as like doing podcasting. We can do podcasting, we can do TV, we can do magazine. And we also have the ability to, as a podcasting show, being on that station, we have the opportunities to interview celebrities, interview other guests for events that they will be covering as a radio station. So that's another opportunity that we have afforded to myself and my crew and all of those that are part of the JQLM radio family.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. What can we expect from the Fat Girl Chronicle in the upcoming future?
I'll just say, hold on to your edges. That's the only thing I
Don't
can
scratch
say.
those edges, man.
Don't use any
Hold
Gorilla Glue.
on to your edges. Yeah, get your
Don't
little
Any
Gorilla
Gorilla
Glue.
Glue. No
Get
Gorilla
your
Glue.
little Gorilla Glue and go on and slick them down,
Oh gosh, yes,
We never know. I mean, if you guys have watched this show, we never know which direction it's going to go. We can start off talking about relationships, and one comment or one remark will take it way left field. So we have a good time. We enjoy each other. But always, you're going to get some entertainment. You're going to get some love. You're going to get some information. You're going to get new music. And you're always, always, always going to be inspired. You're going to get your Tuesday. You're going to get your feel. That's why we call it Fat Tuesday. You're going to get everything that you need and more on the Fat Girl Chronicles. You're going to get your money information. You're going to get your health and wellness. You're going to get some laughs, all that good stuff. So check us out, the Fat Girl Chronicles, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we stream live on YouTube and Facebook, but then you can catch us after on all podcast streaming platforms.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. I'm sure the girlfriend's experience probably would check you out, but that's past their bedtime. So
we might stay up for Leo.
Right.
We like Leo.
Right.
Listen, I already been checking y'all out, so I'm excited. Y'all gotta come on.
Hey,
Yes.
edges and all.
Yes.
Got you.
Yes. With your Gorilla Glue, okay? With your Gorilla Glue edges.
hey, Eric, get your edges right, sir.
I'm just gonna say this. Know nothing about that, but there's no way in hell that I'm putting anything that has like gorilla in my hair.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's obviously different with me being a guy, but there's just no way. Gorilla.
I think she kind of had it confused.
And I heard it was something called gorilla snot, if I'm not
It's
mistaken.
gorilla snot.
They got gorillas. I mean, just snot.
Ew.
Really? In your hair?
Ew.
Really?
Exactly.
You know what? My hat's off. You ladies do an awful lot, you look as beautiful as y'all do. But you know what? Snot?
Right.
I've got 4 kids, so when I'm thinking of snot in my hair,
Exactly.
ew, I'm sorry. What was the next question, James? Next question.
Yeah. Girlfriend's experience. What can we expect from your show in the upcoming future?
You okay?
Sure.
Okay.
So you can expect, like we told you, every episode is supposed to feel like girls' night. So all topics are on the table. But I think too, not to dissuade men, right? Because come and get your information to hear what we're talking about behind closed doors. Because sometimes y'all be needing some tips.
Yeah.
And I think it's a more of keeping the conversation going. So we really want it to be a fun, lighthearted thing where we'll have topics where we're just kind of shooting the breeze. But we're always going to touch on what actually is impacting our community, because that's the number one. We're both moms. We're raising kids. We have sons and daughters between us. So we want to make sure that any information that we're privy to, the Black community is privy to as well. We're corporate working women. We share all of those tips too. So our struggles that we might have, but also bringing people up. When you're rising on that ladder, you should be reaching back and pulling up. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. So we're really trying to build our network, build a community, but also have more laughs, have more drinks, have more fun, and keep the positivity going.
That's it.
Well, just a word of warning to listeners out there. I don't know which one when you ladies said this, but someone said if you talk about me, you can catch these hands.
Oh, that's
They say,
Yep.
yeah, so just be careful if you're going to talk about them. Wow.
And we're having a battle of the sexes soon too. So
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes.
So
And how's that going to look? Well, you know what, James, are you feeling? You want to represent the fellas in the battle?
I mean, like she said earlier, I beat kids. I mean, I'm always game for some competition.
You know, the last show that we had was actually a family feud between two radio stations. So you know what?
Oh,
that sounds fun.
good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
James, I think that we both are well trained with our women that we can kind of figure out what's going on. What you think?
I agree. We got a listener out here saying, "Bring me on for that game." So
That's my co-host. That's one of my co-hosts.
You want
Yeah,
to
okay.
everybody can get it. Everybody can get it.
Is he ready for that, Leo?
Yeah, listen, he's very competitive. So
Okay.
listen,
You
he's
know what?
ready.
Ignore James and I.
He's ready.
Well, Eric, I know one thing we're not going to do on that show.
What?
We ain't going to play spades.
I don't feel
Play
very
Uno.
Hide the Uno card. So you see, we would wind up getting the chicken.
The
It's not
Uno
seafood.
card.
We're not careful.
I tell you, I've supplied the food. Y'all have fun. That's all.
As long
Okay.
as you're not playing with the new internet rules of Uno, because I don't know what they be doing.
Internet rules.
The internet rules.
I'm a 70s
Internet
baby. I
rules.
don't
I
know
won't play no
internet rules.
taxis. None of that.
I'm a 70s baby. We gotta go old school.
Okay.
You know,
Whose house we at? That's the rules we playing.
okay. So see, that's what I'm talking about over there.
rules.
See, they
We're
know.
gonna play. We're gonna play based on whoever house we at.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, last but not least, Miss Adrian. What's coming up for Survival Life?
Ooh, so for Survival Life, I am looking to do more interviews with people. I really want to lift up some stories of people that I've connected with and learned, and all through just social media of talking to them, some Black van lifers, Black solo women van lifers. So I want to talk to them. And also one of the episodes I'm probably most excited about is while working on a farm in Detroit, I met a brother. I should say, I call him a Baba because he's a father to all, but he's one of the original Black Panthers. And his story is really amazing because he was actually in the house. He was there when Fred Hampton was assassinated.
Ooh.
And I, just from tilling the soil, I overheard him talking, and I'm like, is this really who it is? And sure enough, and I always say the best conversations happen over campfire. One day we were just sitting at a campfire. It was late, and everybody had some spirits, and we were just talking. And one of the things that I remember telling him, and it just never left me, was I remember saying, you know what? How did your mom take you being like a revolutionary? Like, how did she deal with you being a Black Panther, knowing, like, you had to have known that you signed, sealed, and delivered your life because of what you were. So you knew you were going to go to prison or you were going to be killed. Like, you had to have known that. And he said, yeah, I did know that. I was like, what's funny is, like, I have a son, and I couldn't imagine, like, I would protect him from, like, even though I know you did what you had to do for us, like, you really did give up a lot of your freedom. I think he spent 36 years in prison for that. If I got the numbers wrong, forgive me. But I just remember thinking, like, how can I hug you and give you kudos, but go home and tell my son, like, lay low, don't do this, don't do that. So I really want to explore just the dynamics of some of the things that we have to battle with, whether it be internally or whether it be externally, So I'm really excited to talk with him. He has a very amazing story to tell from birth to where he is now. And then just some other people that are, like you said, moving off grid, pretty much. They're getting land. They're trying to separate from corporate America. They're trying to separate from energy, like just being connected to these resources where you're just monthly grinding just to pay out, to survive and to live. So I really want to lift up those stories. So I'm excited. I think Survival Life is going to show up with definitely some people that you're like, oh, it's Black people doing that? Yeah, it's Black people. It's a lot of Black people doing that. So that's what I'm excited about.
Well, I'm excited for you. So please keep us informed on your upcoming episodes. I would definitely love to hear that one, the gentleman you were speaking on. But definitely love to hear more of your content.
Yeah,
Will do. Thank you.
Yeah. Eric, what else you got, man, before we let these ladies go?
You know what? I just want to give thanks. I want to give thanks again, like we did earlier, to all of the wonderful women in our life, in our past and our present. Want to definitely give, these sisters over here that graced us with their presence today. You know what? it just goes to show you that when you get somebody and they're really passionate about their dream, don't let anything stop you. And these ladies with their own individual experiences, their own challenges, because everything's not flowers and candy. But you know what? That there's nothing quite like a strong sister to uplift and walk hand in hand, not behind, not ahead, but hand in hand, with a good, strong man. So I definitely appreciate all of you ladies represented, and we definitely have like the best of the best here. So we definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very
Thank
much.
Thank you guys. That was beautiful.
It's time for me to go follow everybody. No, I'm like,
Right, absolutely. I'm like, add me, y'all.
Right.
Add me.
And
Y'all seem fun.
one other thing I wanted to ask is with the girlfriend experience, y'all say y'all theme basically is just like, the lady sitting around there chilling, having a good time. Was it okay that the fellas could actually blend in?
Yes. We approve. We approve.
Well, okay.
She threw that in at the end, Eric. She saw us about to okay, we're not listening to their show no more.
Yeah. I do say every Tuesday we post. We have a chair for you.
Yes.
You come pull up a chair. Pull up.
Pull up a chair?
Pull up a chair. We ready?
You know what? Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Now we get to knocking on the door. Don't be like, I'm sorry, nobody's home.
Well, you call first before you came over. That's the real
That part.
Just make sure.
Did you call first?
You know what? I got one question though. Do you make Kool-Aid? Does anybody over there make Kool-Aid?
I don't make Kool-Aid.
I have made Kool-Aid
who
for
make
Kool-Aid, make it at least
Oh,
like
man.
syrup,
Yeah, I
not
do
juice.
Kool-Aid.
No.
do they even sell it still?
I can do
Oh,
it. I'm
the
not
black delegation got an emergency
I'm not
meeting.
Ooh,
Never hooked again.
ooh.
We're
We're
trying
gonna
to
have a conversation off camera about that.
In April, we're trying to do like a little fitness challenge. We're trying to be health conscious. That's
You can control
can't
the
be health
sugar
conscious
content
having
with the Kool-Aid.
guy number 5.
But we
No.
know that if you want
You
Kool-Aid,
cannot.
it's not fruit punch, it's red. So we'll get red.
Yeah.
We
I
got
was
you.
just about to say, nobody
Yeah.
says fruit punch.
I mean,
It's
lemonade,
red.
the lemonade. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff.
Just red.
Just
Good.
red.
It's red.
Okay, well, you know what? Well, I guess we have to crawl before we can walk. So we'll get you.
Oh,
We'll
wow.
be able to get you some Tahitian treat. Something. I mean, is that okay?
They got more sugar than Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You just became my best friend. You just became my best friend.
Exactly.
A little ice cold Tahitian treat.
Yes.
Listen.
See, Eric and James only know from Detroit. They don't know about Vernon. So that's our
Oh
love.
man, Vernon.
We got Tahitian. We got Tahitian.
I
treats
remember
up here.
Vernon.
We do, but if we have to make a choice,
Yeah, I gotta roll with like Vernon Safago.
Vernon's help you at that late night club nights. Had a little too much. Get you some Vernons.
Like after you done went to a White Castle, at first you didn't get drunk, then you done went and got like some White Castle. Now your stomach is bubbling, so now you got to.
Now you gotta get the Vernons.
That's still with the Vernon.
I know. No.
Vernons is that old school
Old school. I think
ginger ale to get you right.
What was that? That Canadian ginger ale?
Yeah.
Canada Dry.
Canada Dry.
It's
No.
like the name says, it's dry. I've never
It is dry. But if you don't have Vernons, that's the next best thing.
I was about to say that's the next best thing. Yep.
It'll clear you out.
So, Mr. Carter, ladies, I don't know if y'all see the comment here, but he's asking for everyone to go into the comments and drop your names because he wants to follow all y'all.
Yeah.
So please make sure y'all do
Listen,
that.
that's my right hand man right there. That's my right hand man on the podcast.
Somebody might have to drop mine. I don't see where I can add. Maybe because
Me
I'm not.
either.
I think.
Oh, you just
Yeah.
gotta go to the live. You just gotta go to
okay.
the live and comment. Yep.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That we can do.
Thank you so much, as Eric said, for being on the show. Hang on a second while we sign off, but it's been a pleasure. Definitely want to chat with you a little bit before we let you go. But everyone, you heard it from their mouths to your ears. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Ear Hustling Podcast.
Stay safe, America, and we enjoy Ladies' Night.
Hey.
Please.